the 4 children went a step or 2 nearer to it. At this the robin flew away again to the next tree, and once more looked at them very hard. You couldn't have found a robin with a redder chest or a brighter eye. "Do you know," said Lucy, "I really believe he means us to follow him." "I've an idea he does," said Susan. "What do you think, Peter?" "Well, we might as well try it," answered Peter. The robin appeared to understand the matter thoroughly. It kept going from tree to tree, always a few yards ahead of them, but always so near that they could easily follow it. In this way it led them on slightly downhill. Wherever the robin alighted, a little shower of snow would fall off the branch. Presently the clouds parted overhead, and the winter sun came out, and the snow all around them grew dazzlingly bright. They had been travelling in this way for about half an hour, with the 2 girls in front, when Edmund said to Peter, "If you're not still too high and mighty to talk to me, I've something to say, which you'd better listen to." "What is it?" asked Peter. "Hush, not so loud," said Edmund. "There's no good frightening the girls. But have you realized what we're doing?" "What?" said Peter, lowering his voice to a whisper. "We're following a guide we know nothing about. How do we know which side that bird is on? Why shouldn't it be leading us into a trap?" "That's a nasty idea. Still, a robin, you know. They're good birds in all the stories I've ever read. I'm sure a robin wouldn't be on the wrong side." "If it comes to that, which is the right side? How do we know that the fawns are in the right, and the queen, yes, I know we've been told she's a witch, is in the wrong? We don't really know anything about either." "The fawn saved Lucy." "He said he did, but how do we know? And there's another thing, too. Has anyone the least idea of the way home from here?" "Great Scott!" said Peter. "I hadn't thought of that." "And no chance of dinner either," said Edmund. To be continued next week. You have been listening to The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, published by Harper Trophy, a division of HarperCollins Publishers, reproduced with permission from C.S. Lewis Pte. Limited on Ancient Faith Radio.
And that was Dr. Chrissi Hart, with a special edition of Readings from Under the Grapevine, The Chronicles of Narnia, written by C.S. Lewis, published by HarperCollins, and read with permission by C.S. Lewis Ltd. Limited. Be listening each week as Dr. Chrissi Hart brings us another exciting chapter from The Chronicles of Narnia. This is a listener-supported presentation of Ancient Faith Radio on the web at ancientfaith.com.
The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, published by Harper Trophy, a division of HarperCollins Publishers, reproduced with permission from C.S. Lewis Pte. Limited. Listen and enjoy. Chapter 7. A Day with the Beavers. While the 2 boys were whispering behind, both the girls suddenly cried, "Oh!" and stopped. "The robin!" cried Lucy. "The robin! It's flown away!" And so it had, right out of sight. "And now what are we to do?" said Edmund, giving Peter a look, which was as much as to say, "What did I tell you?" "Shh! Look!" said Susan. "What?" said Peter. "There's something moving among the trees over there, to the left." They all stared as hard as they could, and no one felt very comfortable. "There it goes again," said Susan presently. "I saw it that time too," said Peter. "It's still there. It's just gone behind that big tree." "What is it?" asked Lucy, trying very hard not to sound nervous. "Whatever it is," said Peter, "it's dodging us. It's something that doesn't want to be seen." "Let's go home," said Susan. And then, though nobody said it out loud, everyone suddenly realized the same fact that Edmund had whispered to Peter at the end of the last chapter. They were lost. "What's it like?" said Lucy. It's a kind of animal," said Susan. And then, "Look! Look quick! There it is!" They all saw it this time, a whiskered furry face, which had looked out at them from behind a tree. But this time it didn't immediately draw back. Instead, the animal put its paw against its mouth, just as humans put their finger on their lips when they are signaling to you to be quiet. Then it disappeared again. The children all stood holding their breath. A moment later the stranger came out from behind the tree, glanced all round as if it were afraid someone was watching, said "Hush!" made signs to them to join it in the thicker bit of wood where it was standing, and then once more disappeared. "I know what it is," said Peter. "It's a beaver. I saw the tail." "It wants us to go to it," said Susan, "and it is warning us not to make a noise." "I know," said Peter. "The question is, are we to go to it or not? What do you think, Lou?" "I think it's a nice beaver," said Lucy. "Yes, but how do we know?" said Edmund. "Shan't we have to risk it?" said Susan. "I mean, it's no good just standing here, and I feel I want some dinner." At this moment the beaver again popped its head out from behind the tree and beckoned earnestly to them. "Come on," said Peter, "let's give it a try. All keep close together. We ought to be a match for one beaver if it turns out to be an enemy." So the children all got close together and walked up to the tree and in behind it, and there, sure enough, they found the beaver. But it still drew back, saying to them in a hoarse, throaty whisper,